Hey, it's your boy Cosmic here, and this game has a problem, specifically a green one. Gaean is a character that has been considered ban-worthy by some people for several months now, but it's only relatively recently that we've seen just how bad it's gotten. Given this, combined with the fact that it's strangely rare to actually see someone explain why he should be banned, I figured I should make a video going into exactly what makes this character so ban-worthy. If I feel like it, I might also make a follow-up video on the reasons why he shouldn't be banned, but as of right now, I don't know if I'll end up doing that or not, so no guarantees either way. One last thing before I start the video, please keep in mind that almost none of these factors alone are enough to make a character ban-worthy, and I'm not saying that they are. It's only when you combine them that you end up with this absolute monstrosity of a character. Anyway, without further ado, let me get into why Gaean should be banned. First of all, this move, Gaean Dash. Here's a small list of things it can do. It can travel across full screen range, it can hit people faster than it is humanly possible to react to, it can deal 24 damage, and you can combo it into an 18 damage throw. Do you see why this is ridiculous? Now, to be fair, the input for the move does require the player to hold the back button, so you might think that balances it out, but this is Gaean we're talking about, so of course he has an answer to that too. This is Dino Wave. It deals 16 damage, it's used by holding down and back and pressing A. This means that while normally certain characters like Gibber or Hanzor could just wait from full screen if they see Dash being charged and either duck under it and punish with a throw or force Gaean to mix up his approach, Gaean can just use Dino Wave instead to catch them out. Aside from invalidating Gaean Dash's biggest weakness, this also creates a situation where you can force your opponent to make a guess where if they get it wrong, they lose, and in some cases you can just change the answer after they've guessed to make sure they lose anyway. Now, right now you might be thinking, well, if Gaean is doing this, can't you just jump in on him? Neither of these two moves can hit you out of the air, you should be fine. Well, not quite. Aside from the fact that Gaean Dash has a hitbox behind Gaean, so you'll occasionally get hit on your way down, and the fact that not everyone can even jump this far, there's also a much more obvious reason why this doesn't work, that being Gaean's third special, Hammerhead. It might seem kind of terrible at first, and it's definitely Gaean's worst special move, but it's still really good. The thing that makes this move work is the fact that when it starts up, Gaean can't be hit, so it also functions as a reversal. This means that if you jump in on Gaean, quite possibly your only good option in this situation, you can just use Hammerhead, and even if you use to jump normal, he'll hit you anyway, and will almost definitely get in a throw after this, due to the extremely powerful mobility he has as a result of Gaean Dash. So basically, just by holding down and back, this character can force the opponent into a situation where they lose no matter what, not to mention the fact that he has basically the best damage output in the game. Would you believe me if I told you it got worse? Right now, Zac has been knocked down, and Gaean has various options. He could use Gaean Dash to make sure he's on top of the opponent and throw them. Then he could do that, but again. He could also use Jump Punch over them, and if it hits, he can combo it into Gaean Dash, and if it's blocked, he can throw. And then do it again. Technically, the throw loop is banned, but if you do this instead, it doesn't count, and it still deals enough damage to drain a full health bar, so that's inconvenient. And now I just want to address one of the reasons people give for why we shouldn't ban Gaean, that being the fact that he doesn't over-centralize the meta. I'm gonna be honest, I only have a slight idea of what this means, but what I think they're saying is that having a bad matchup with Gaean doesn't instantly make your character unviable regardless of anything else. This is actually true, but the reason for this has less to do with Gaean really not being all that good, and more to do with the fact that almost everyone has a bad matchup with him. Of all of the tournament viable characters in this game, those being Grak, Jibber, Legend, Shen, Hans, Ghoston, Super Zac, Garborg, and everyone on page 4, Gaean has some strategy to deal with all of them, which I'll go into now. Grak, Legend, Ghoston, Super Zac, Hanzor, and Y don't have adequate tools to get Gaean off them once his pressure starts, meaning they effectively lose after taking one knockdown, so I'd hardly say they have a good matchup against him. Shenlong, Ashura, and Garborg, on the other hand, might be able to deal with Gaean's pressure, but if he starts trying to keep them away with projectiles, it's over. On the surface, it might seem like Leo could have a good chance, since he can both deal with Gaean's pressure and punish Dino Wave on reaction, but due to his lack of a good anti-air, he gets destroyed by Gaean's jumping punch. This leaves 5 characters who I haven't mentioned, those being Jibber, Super Zac, Blaze, Ney, and Scapacon. These matchups are, in my opinion, the closest to even you'll get in this game. Ney has a slight disadvantage, but can definitely hold his own in the matchup, and the same goes for Super Zac and Scapacon. Blaze just outright goes even with Gaean, and I'd even say that Jibber has a slight advantage in the matchup due to the range of his jumping punch. In conclusion, this is a character with the best damage output in the game, an unreactable 24 damage dash attack, the ability to kill the opponent off one wrong guess, an invincible reversal, a stun loop, and only one matchup where he's at even a slight disadvantage. But there's one more thing I haven't mentioned yet, that being Giant. Giant is a character with all of the same normal and special moves as Gaean, but with lower damage and walk speed. As a result, he's much more balanced, sitting comfortably in the middle of either B or C tier, depending on how you look at it. Even if you're someone who just enjoys Gaean's playstyle, there's already another character right there with the exact same moveset. If Gaean is banned, people who enjoyed his gameplay can simply pick up Giant and continue to enjoy it without any of what makes Gaean broken. No matter what, there is not a single situation in which this character should not be banned.